Hi, how are you? It's working?
Well, we got through the work.
Where are you now?
At my house and just in the basement talking to you.
Okay. But and your house is in the near Toronto, right?
That's right, Markham slash Thornhill.
Okay. Oh, who's your MP?
My MP, unfortunately, he resigned, Honorable John McCallan. I vote for him, but
Oh,
he's not here anymore,
no, he's in
unfortunately.
China.
Yes, I know. Besides that, who's your MP?
I am my own MP. So congratulations for the video. It's interesting.
Thank you. It really means a lot, and I'm really excited. And when I was getting ready for the video, I was so nervous. It took me about 50 tries to get the 45 seconds down.
Yeah, I understand. It's not always easy to do these videos. Excuse me. Mm. So I understand you had some questions for me.
That's right.
Hmm.
May we start?
Yeah, sure.
All right, here we go. First one I want to start off with is how can we create employment and educational programs that are specific to the needs of youth in developing countries, such as programs of developing countries where there is an exchange of ideas and knowledge.
Hmm. Yeah, we definitely need to align better the training available in developing countries with the needs of the market. And this is why when we talk about education within our new Feminist International Assistance Policy, we don't limit it to basic education. We also want to include vocational and technical training and work with the private sector to see what their needs are and try to align it better. So we have some projects ongoing. Incubator, you say that in English too? Business incubator? Yep. So we can do that, and we are also working with College and Institute Canada, who have different programs in the field. And the idea is always to link it to the priorities of the local government. Obviously, making sure that it's aligned with the needs. And actually, was it in Senegal recently, and I had the chance to visit one of these technical training school. So yes, we're doing quite a bit on that, and everything we do for to train midwives is also very significant because it's good job for women, and it's also so much needed in terms of sexual and reproductive health services. So we hit two targets when we train midwives.
Well, that's a mouthful, and I agree. We need all of that said and done. And I have an opinion. What's your opinion on because GAC has a program called Youth Employment Strategies in Canada. And what about the idea of to try to make these programs in developing countries? Um, sorry, let me rephrase that. We know that it's hard to find work um, in developing countries, and we also know that mentorship exchange of ideas from developed countries are important. And we also need more volunteers to look more. We need well, the jobs to look more attractive for volunteers to even want to work and help the developing countries. And we need more awareness for helping in underdeveloped countries for people to help, and there's not enough. And I just wanted to make sure that I said this right. Um, well, I don't know. More need volunteers. Um, yes, that's what I was going to say. How can we also incorporate that, what I said, and how long would it take?
uh, well, you talked about you start talking about the youth employment program. So yes, we are financing many of our partners, mainly NGOs, who are doing working in the development in developing countries to offer work terms to young people. And well, actually, I started this way in a way. I was when I was 20. Actually, I turned 22 in Morocco doing one of these work terms, and these are very good opportunities to get Canadian engaged and understand what development is. And I think it's a very good start. And I encourage you to try some of these experiences. And you talked about providing mentorship and all of this. So I'm trying to find good examples, but I do believe in the importance of mentorship and companionship. Is that how you say in English? The compagnonnage. Um, and actually considering the demographic explosion in Africa, this is a very big issue, and it has an impact on peace and stability if we don't um, provide youth hope for their future. And it starts with education, actually, and having the hope to find a good job and be able to have a family. Because we know that if we don't give hope to young people, uh, it makes girls in danger in the sense that if they are not in school, they might be entering into early marriage, early pregnancies, human trafficking. And on the boys' side, even if both can happen both sides, but still, boys might be attracted by armed groups, or maybe just both of them leaving to try their chance as refugees somewhere and risk their lives. So it's a major issue right now to give hope through education and good job to the youth.
Well, my second question is, how can we ensure that youth living in developing countries receive the necessary tools to be able to meet their basic uh, physiological needs, such as access to adequate food supply and living conditions?
This is an ongoing challenge, especially since right now we have approximately 65 million people displaced or refugee in the world. So, and food insecurity is a huge issue. So this is why we're having that kind of discussion like the G7 this week with the development ministers. Uh, Only the G7 plus the European Union, we represent 76% of the contribution for official development assistance money, so money coming from donor government. So the idea is for us to work better, to have more impact in the field, because we know that our contribution is not enough. So we also have to be innovative, not only in the way we do things, but also in being more open to new types of partnerships and bringing new money into development. So this is really the object of our discussions this week here, to be more impactful.
Well, that's what I like that answer too. Um, Question three. How can we ensure that young women in developing countries receive equal opportunities for training, education, and employment and reduce oppression? This is one of my favorite questions.
Yeah, my favorite too. You know that we have a feminist international assistance policy, and we've decided to have a feminist policy after doing a very important consultation. 15,000 people participated in 65 countries because it was very important to listen to them. And we came to the conclusion that if we want to end poverty, we have to empower women. We have to give the opportunity to 100% of the population, not only 50% of the population, to develop their full potential. So now we are asking all our partners, all of those who receive Canadian money for development and humanitarian assistance, they have to make the demonstration that they have consulted women locally to identify the needs appropriately, and that women were included in the decision making, and that through the implementation of the project, women and girls are not seen only as beneficiaries or victims, but they are really seen as agents of change, development, and peace. So they are really being empowered throughout the implementation of the project. So this is
Yes,
really
I strongly agree.
very important for me too.
Um, if I may ask, do you have any questions for me in regarding to my three questions I offered to you?
Yeah, well, actually, I'm what do you want to do as a career? Or I don't know where you stand in terms of are you studying? Are you working? Or what do you do and what do you want to do in the coming years?
Well, in the coming years, I want to, and I will be continuing youth advocacy. And one of the things I want to do is go through city, and just ask random people their opinion on what do you think about how we can improve on a system and a program. For example, YMCA is a program where youth go to a job, but first get trained and go through a bit of a course before they get thrown into a job setting.
Mhm.
Now, I went through one of those, and I came out lost. And I believe it's because of communication and resources. And sometimes it's about money, unfortunately. Another example is that was successful is JVS. I'm actually right now going through
What is
JVS,
JVS?
Jewish Vocational Services,
Okay.
and they've done very well with me. They have a very good program. I want to work with animals part time to make some money so I can build a program or a campaign or raise some money just to get myself noticed in order to bring a bigger circle. Gravity is important in order to get people to speak louder. Um, Another thing I want to do is I know this sounds a little bit extreme, but I want to become a politician when I grow up. Um, I'm 25 years old and I have a lot to offer to my community. One thing I'm still working on, it's been about 2.5 years, is a free energy project. And I want to contribute this to Canada for a better affordable living for everybody. And my biggest fan is Nikola Tesla in science. So maybe in a year from now, I'll have the project finished. I still have to get the idea patent and materials on the paper finished, but I'm a real advocate for people having a better quality of life. I'm actually adopted, and I know what it takes to overcome a lot of struggles. And my family, who are Canadians, you know, sometimes parents come from poverty and they pass on the cycle to their children because children have to go to school and work at the same time. But I was fortunate. My parents gave me a good education and they gave me a good settings to live in. And I had enough creativity and an output for it. And there's a lot of creative things out there, and that's what attracted me. And seeing a lot of youth creativity, seeing a lot of I love animals, by the way. I know I'm all over the place, but I have so much to say with very little time. And bottom line is, I want to basically contribute all my talents and skills to Canada and globally. And I'd rather dedicate my whole life to that than work in an office making good money and ignoring my community. And our community is what makes us stronger. And I'm a huge advocate for communities to speak loud also. Now, my question is, where could I start? Where would be the best resources that I can start? I know a couple, but do you know any better places that I can go to?
In the sense that you want to do politics later? Is it your question?
Yes.
I was get involved in your community, develop your leadership, get to know more people, build your network. So because this network is very important. First, when you get involved, you develop new capacities and your leadership, and you get known by people who then after that they will have confidence in you because they will know that you're responsible, you're innovative. They can count on you. So this is how politics started with me, being involved in the school board and in the tourism agency. I don't know, l'association association in my writing. So this is how politics started, being involved as a volunteer in different organization, and then people get to know you and trust you, and then they are willing to vote for you because they know you're reliable.
If I may, another question, friend to friend. What was the hardest obstacle you overcame in life to be in the place you are right now, where that chair is?
Um, I don't like this question because I was very fortunate in my life. And I don't know. Uh, I guess my colleagues would say that I'm the worst. I'm the person who is uh, the the hardest on myself. So I guess I am my biggest challenge. But this is I was very fortunate. So it's kind of I'm sorry I was fortunate, but I don't have much advice to give on this. I would have much more to learn from you.
We need some people that are fortunate in order to get to the people that are unfortunate.
Well, I see that you're making your challenges. It makes you stronger, and you have a lot of ambition, and you're very engaged. So I'm confident that you will achieve your dreams. And I don't know if you're in your riding there might be a youth council, or you can get involved within the political association as well. So you will get this practical experience of what politics is, because it's very
I know.
diversified. Well, take care of you.
Do you have one more question for me,
No,
possibly?
actually, I have to go because someone else is waiting for me. But it was very nice talking to you. Thank you, and I wish you the best of luck. And I wish you success, not luck. It's not luck; it's hard work.
It was an honor speaking to you also.
My pleasure. Thank you. Bye bye.